Alright guys, this is JTV. We're back. Today we're going to talk about King Nimrod. I'm going to make more videos on King Nimrod. He was a king back in that time. Died at the hands of Esau. Okay? So we're reading out of the book of Jasher. This is Jasher chapter 27. Okay? The death of Nimrod. And Esau at the time, after the death of Abraham, frequently went into the field to hunt. Okay? So we know Esau, Jacob's brother, also son of Isaac, um, was a cunning hunter, right? Esau was a cunning hunter, right? So he always was in the field hunting. And we know that Isaac loved his venison, right? And Nimrod, king of Babel, the same was Afraphel, also frequently went with his mighty men to hunt in the field and to walk about with his men in the cool of the day. Okay, so Nimrod also liked to hunt. Okay, so they both were men of war. Okay, and Nimrod was observing Esau all the days, for a jealousy was formed in his heart of Nimrod against Esau all the days. And on a certain day, Esau went in the field to hunt, and he found Nimrod walking in the wilderness with his two men. Okay, so Nimrod built like an envy of Esau because he knew that Esau was a cunning hunter. Okay, he probably felt him as a threat because he was the king at the time. Okay, and all of his mighty men and his people were with him in the wilderness, but they removed at a distance from him, and they went from him in different directions to hunt. And Esau concealed himself for Nimrod, and he lurked for him in the wilderness. Okay, so I guess when Nimrod departed, because he was the king, so he needed protection, he had his mighty man with him, right? But he only had two at the time because the others had went in different directions. Esau seen that and took it as an advantage. Esau stopped hunting the venison and the animals and started hunting Nimrod, the king. Okay? And Nimrod and his men that were with him did not know him. And Nimrod and his men frequently walked about in the field at the cool of the day, and to know where his men were hunting in the field. And Nimrod and his two men that were with him came to the place where they were when Esau started suddenly from his lurking place, and drew his sword, and hastened, and ran to Nimrod, and cut off his head. And Esau fought a desperate fight with the two men that were with Nimrod. And when they called out to him, Esau turned to them to smote them to death with his sword. Okay? So Esau not only killed King Nimrod, beheaded him, but also his two men that were with him. And all the mighty men of Nimrod, who had left him to go to the wilderness, heard the cry at a distance, and they knew the voices of those two men, and they ran to know the cause of it. When they found their king and the two men that were with him lying dead in the wilderness. Okay? So the other men that were supposed to be guarding Nimrod heard Nimrod and his two mighty men being killed by Esau, right? And when Esau saw the mighty men of Nimrod coming at a distance, he fled and thereby escaped. And Esau took the valuable garments of Nimrod, which Nimrod's father had bequeathed to Nimrod, and with which Nimrod prevailed over the whole land. And he ran and concealed them in his house. And Esau took those garments and ran into the city on account of Nimrod's men. And he came into his father's house wearied and exhausted from the fight. And he was ready to die through grief when he approached his brother Jacob and sat before him. Okay? So this is where he sells his birthright. Okay? So he runs back to his father's house, right? Where Jacob is cooking the pottage, right? So we read that portion. If you look in the catalog, okay, the story between Jacob and Esau's birthright. All right, we have the portions and parts to it. Go and look in the catalog and catch up if you don't know anything about it. You don't know who these people are. Okay. And he said unto his brother Jacob, Behold, I shall die this day. And wherefore then do I want the birthright? And Jacob acted wisely with Esau in this manner. And Esau sold his birthright to Jacob, for it was so brought about by the Lord. Okay? So, the Lord already prophesied to their mother that Jacob was supposed to carry the birthright, the younger, right? And Esau's portion in the cave of the field of Machpelah, which Abraham had brought from the children of Heth for a possession of a burial ground, Esau also sold to Jacob, and Jacob brought all this from his brother Esau for value given. And Jacob wrote the whole of this in a book, and he testified the same with witnesses, and he sealed it, and the book remained in the hands of Jacob. Okay, so that was a portion of the documents that they needed when Joseph sent Naphtali to go fetch the documents in Egypt when they were burying Jacob. Okay, so if you you don't know anything about that story, it's also in the catalog. All right, it's your boy JTV. Holla back.